Well, the power supply is a noise that you hear, that hum. And this is a Chrysler Force tilt trim unit. They didn't change these things much from the early 70s, I think in 72 or 3 when they first started offering power tilt trim, up until 93 or 4 or somewhere, maybe it was 92. That may have varied from model to model when Mercury started taking them over, since they were both owned by Brunswick at Corp at that point. Both Outboard Marine and Mercury were owned by Brunswick Corp. And more stuff from the Mercury line started creeping over onto the Force motors. I guess it kind of made things easy for them. Force became less independent and Mercury was taking them over. But they kept this thing from probably 72 to 92. Very long production run. So these are readily available, and I have an older motor, a 76, that has the Armstrong tilted trim on it. So, well, it's on a boat, also a Chrysler Conqueror S3 outboard that has a huge motor well, and it's a real pain climbing back in there to tilt the motor up and down. So I don't know why the original owners bought that way, unless they were just being cheap, which, knowing them, and I do, that's quite likely. So this is going to be the end of me slipping, hurting myself, or falling overboard, or something else silly like that. So I'm going to give it a quick test. I give it one run, and this is the second one for the video. And the hum, like I just said, you hear is the 50 amp power supply that I'm going to run it off of. Of course, it doesn't pull 50 amps, but I have more than plenty here. I think it's going to pull more than my 7 amp power supply, so I grabbed this one instead. And I'd rather use this than a battery, because this has safety features built into it, like overload protection. Okay, here we go. Nope, that's down. And then this is up. You see it come up, that's the tilt part, and then that's the trim kicks in. And now, watch this piston right here, that's the trim cylinder. And this is the tilt cylinder. It only has one tilt cylinder on this, strangely enough. Mercury's had 2 in this era. I don't know why they felt they needed 2. Okay, here we go. And that piston retracts. I imagine if it had the outboard's weight on it, this might go down too. And now the hydraulics actually force it down. So the hydraulics do need a positive down function, which I can't pull on it that hard, but because there's no mechanical reverse interlock here like it would be, like we'll say Mercury has, for instance, in their manual tilts. Their manual tilts just rest against a pin, like this one does actually if it's manual, and have a reverse lock pawl. It flips up when you put it in reverse to keep the motor from flying out of the water. Well, these hydraulic units actually do that with a positive hydraulic check valve lock in there. So anyway, there you go. I think it's, when I put it on the motor, I do believe I'm going to keep my original mounting brackets, and I'm not going to use the center section. I'm fairly sure. I might get in and change my mind. Just to make things simple, I'm just going to change the reservoir and the cylinders and this bottom bar that has the integral tilt cylinder in it. I don't think I have to change anything else, and I wanted to keep my original brackets that have the thumb screws on it. These are very modern. They just have hooks that hang over the edge just to help you when you're aligning it, and then you're supposed to drill and bolt in the upper holes to give you one up adjustment. So I'm going to keep my original brackets. Well, they're already painted white, so the plan is to remove the cylinders, both the hydraulic and the shock, and this bottom bar cylinder and the motor, clean all that up and paint it white or off-white like the Chrysler outboard is, and install it right on there just by tilting the motor way up. Because I really don't want to go through the hassle. I could do it, but I really don't want to go through the hassle of lifting the motor off and installing this whole unit into it. I don't really see the point in that.